Welcome, welcome. I'll just keep saying it till a few people rock up. Welcome to the Katie's Arms. Pub doors are open a minute early. Thank you very much. And cheers, everybody. Cheers, everybody. If you've got your Katie's Arms wine glass from the last tour, welcome. Welcome to everybody else who's rocking up from your sofas, probably one eye on the Olympics. Welcome, everybody. Oh, golly, we're a lot of people. How are you all doing? How are you? Just gone all Holly Willow booby, haven't I? Are you okay? Silly cow. Are you okay? Remember that? Jesus Christ. Holy shit, people. What the hell? What the hell is going on? You've got someone at the Olympics having a seizure, or calling themselves a break dancer, but is an Australian and speaking as an epileptic. Like, I've had seizures that look more like breakdancing than that Australian. I think it's a girl, whatever the chunky thing is. She's just like writhing around on the floor like she's having a proper fit. And she's called Ray-Ban. Ray-Gun. I mean, god damn. Proper Joey Deacon breakdancing. And that's supposed to be an Olympic sport. What, is it just so that chunkers can do something? Is it? I mean, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I don't know what's worse. Was the opening ceremony more embarrassing than the Australian breakdancer? Or then you've got, and you may have seen my little stint on it, hello Antarctica. Then you've got Hato! Taekwondo! Taekwondo, I appreciate there'll be people on here who are massive, like, Taekwondo supporters. Oh, I got my blue Rajabajavada, or I got my red Chakata, or my Sashbana Faraba. Whatever you've got for Taekwondo, I really don't give a shit. Because as far as I'm concerned, Taekwondo looks like a load of old toss to me. You ponce about wearing enough padding, like as if you're going to go out there and play like American football and be punched in the face by big men who are like 6'8". You've got all of this padding, more padding, like you could chuck yourselves down the friggin' stairs. And you turn up and the aim is to touch someone else's head with your toe. Ooh, Taekwondo! What? Forgive me, how is that? But I thought Taekwondo was all like turn up, oh shit, and batter the shit out of it, like, right? That, I get it, that would be great. Come down the stairs, Chinese people win, perfect. No, just, oh, I've got a bigger pointy toe than you, ooh, Taekwondo. And it's like 3 points for a tickle, 2 points if you tweak the nipples, and 1 point if you do like a funny face. Fucking shit. That is a shit. Tweak my toe, exactly. Is that what you put? No. Flash those toes, no thank you. I get a lot of messages about feet. So I do this thing, Cameo, you know, and I money goes to epilepsy charities when I do it, but I basically, my favourite cameos are when I get to rip the shit out of someone. So it's usually a hater and someone books a cameo where I get to like basically boss them about or be a complete git, which I love doing, or taking the piss out of people. But some people send me cameos asking for me to do things with my feet. I don't do those, just so you know. If you're thinking of asking for one, don't even bother. No one wants to see my feet. And B, I think if you get off on someone's feet, you're probably similar to that crocodile guy that likes to bang dogs. Like, I think it's all a bit weird. But, you know, there we are. So, Olympics, part that. And also, can I just say one other thing? And I know she's just run the 800, and I know heptathlon's very difficult, and la-di-da-di-da. But Katarina Johnson-Thompson, any chance she could just cheer the pissing well up a bit? Does she have to look so mardy the whole time? You know, Katarina Johnson-Thompson too. I just feel like she could be a bit perky, couldn't you? When you're coming out to do the 800, like, okay, so you're in silver position, so you might not get the gold. Okay, fine. But like, you've been waiting to do this for 4 years. You're coming out into the whole of the stadium. Could you not be a bit like, she's just like, you know, like she's just been told she's got an extra shift at the hospital and it's a night shift. She's just so, isn't she? I don't know. If I was anywhere near her or worked with her, I'd be like that. Come on then, Katarina Johnson-Thompson, let's go. You got that many names, love. Let's perk up a bit. Do you know what I mean? She was like, oh, is it Monday? Oh, no, Katarina Johnson-Thompson. It's the Olympics. And everyone's watching you. Could you just cheer the fuck up? You got a nice little leotard on. You look good in it. Everything looks high and tight. Jesus Christ. You put me in one of those running costumes. I'd be cleaning the track as I ran. If you know what I'm saying. Sweeping the track with bits of me, which we don't want to talk about. So just cheer the fuck up, Katarina Johnson-Thompson. Believe me, love, you think you've got it tough. Chucking a little bit of bamboo about, or putting a bit of a ball there, or just having a little whoop hop over a bar. Try being one of us out here, huh? Then see how mardy you are. Try being one of us in a regular town centre right now. Try being a white person in the UK. Ugh, it's exhausting. So, riots, far right, two-tier Kia, for God's sake. And I don't want to spend too much of our pub night talking about this. Lots of love from West Yorkshire. Katie Price, next topic. Yes, she's on my list. Pricey is. So I'm just going to briefly touch on the riots, and speak my mind bluntly. And then there's other things I want to talk about. For example, Hugh Edwards, Katie Price. I think she needs a mention, and I've got a story that's related. But just on this whole, what's going on at the moment, supposed to be more stuff going on at the weekend. Police are at the ready. I just feel two important things. Number one, whatever Keir Starmer thinks he's fixing right now, look at us, hauling this guy out of his bed at 6 a.m. and then straight to court and then straight to the cells and then straight to prison. Oh, look at us, this guy wrote this on Facebook and now he's in jail. Oh, look at police presence, riot vehicles. Oh, quick action. That's really sorted this out. Oh, look at us. Like Keir Starmer's like, yeah, I'm just going to have a Cobra meeting. And so, I don't know, they probably don't make that, but I just think that's funny that it's a Cobra meeting. Just imagine them going, anyway. Oh, I've had a Cobra meeting. Ooh, look at my big bollocks. Look, ooh, I had a Cobra meeting. Now I've fixed it. Yeah. Ooh, I locked this guy up. Ooh, that's made it all better. Are they pissed? Like, are they off their faces? Clearly, none of the people watching this, viewing this, part of this, have to share any of my views. These are my personal views. My personal views are, you have to be a absolute madman, maniac, if you think any of what's going on in terms of the response to protests, if you imagine that's sorting the problem or fixing it, you are off your tree. You are off your tree. That is like, and not wishing to use fat people in comparison with riots, but let's just go with, if you're a Chumbawamba, and you should know by now, that I believe if you choose to be a Chumbawamba and eat too much, and you'd rather just do that because eating makes you happy, I say, go for broke. Do it. Stuff your face. Do what you want. It is none of my bollocksing business. I mean, it slightly is because I have to pay for your new knee, but now the NHS is screwed. No one's getting any treatment anyway. But back in the day when you could get things that you needed at the NHS. But it's a bit like these Chumbawambas that go, oh, well, I've got big bones. My big bones run in my family. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these shakes for a week. Well, that isn't going to fix the problem, is it? That's just making you think, oh, I'm going to buy a Fitbit. Okay, you bought something. That's not going to fix the problem because you've got to do the walking. Otherwise, yeah. Or people that say, oh, well, it's because of this, so I'm going to take these tablets. That's not going to do it. If you're eating 14 bargain buckets, it doesn't matter if you take a tablet or not, love. You're still going to be a Chumbawamba. I don't want to labour the point, but unless you identify the problem, like I have lots of problems, like I have massive seizures, so I had to have my head sawn off. If you can't face up to your problems, you're not going to fix them. So Keir Starmer is doing something, right? It's like the bloody Europeans that found a way of getting the plastic bottle lid to fix onto the plastic bottle. That doesn't solve the problem. Is the plastic bottle, you massive twats. Fixing the lid onto the plastic bottle doesn't solve the problem of plastic bottles, does it? Same. Throwing some guys who inadvertently got caught up in the heat of the moment into prison doesn't fix the problem. And if you think it does for 1 minute, you're more mental than you look. Problem's not going away. Number 2, and this is what I consider to be much more important, is that on the whole, in the main, any of those phrases that you like to use, lots and lots of lovely people from all persuasions just quite liked how things used to be. And that's actually at the heart of this. It's nothing to do with far right. It's nothing to do with people trying to set things on fire or loot shit from Lush, right? That's unfortunate, and it gives the press the pictures they want. And I would say to the retards who loot Lush, for Christ's sake, you mad twat spangles. Like, I can't stand Lush at the best of times. I don't ever go into a town anymore, but if I do ever pass one of those, and you can smell that synthetic powdered shite, and there's someone there trying to sell you a friggin' bath bomb, I would rather have an actual bomb in my bath than a bath bomb from Lush. Itchy, scratchy, chemical bollocks. Ugh. But anyway, so my question is, who's looting from Lush? I mean, Jesus. It's like, I don't know, it's like looting from frickin' TK Maxx. Who's going to loot from TK Maxx? You're looting a bath bomb, you daft spanker. That aside. But the majority of people, I would suggest, I speak for no one but myself, so this is my personal view, actually just quite liked it when this country was quite nice and how it was. And when you could go to London and it felt a bit like London, or you could go to Yorkshire and people sounded a bit like they were from Yorkshire and you could talk about tea. Or when you paid money in, because then when you were in the shit, that looked after you. But if you didn't and you could spare a bit, you paid in, and then older people got to have a fairly nice kind of survivable level of being older. Like when stuff made sense, like someone went to work and could then have a family, and that was all nice because you were paying for your little family, and maybe the families down the road, you were all working together. That to me is actually the sentiment of what people want to get back to, and we're going in the wrong direction from that every single day. And you can try and make people out to be nasty bastards, to be monsters, to be far right, to wish everyone dead, to be stabbing people, to doing all these terrible things that they're trying to say that these group of people, British nationals, want to do. They don't want any of that. They just want things to be all right again. People would quite like to land in Heathrow and know what country they arrived in. People would quite like to be able to walk down the street if you're on your own as a female and not feel like you're the odd one out. I would quite like to go into some towns and not be asked, where am I from? Because I'm the only one that looks like me. So what I'm trying to convey is that actually I think it's a very sweet and charming thing that most people want, which is they want it to be nice again. And it just breaks my soul to see the laziness of the news and media just being told what they have to put on their headlines, performing a story. Oh, something's on fire. And what happens, if I can just explain it, because I've been at enough riots and protests to know. But like, let's just say, diagram at the ready, someone somewhere, let me take an example from America so it's not specific. So there's an American flag, right, and someone puts it on fire. It could just be on its own on fire, but what happens is every single photographer that there is there gathers around to get the shot of the flag burning, because that will sell a story. And that's what these media are doing. You know, if there's something burning, they all gather. You could be stood here, there could be 4 people there, but they'll make it look like. And that doesn't represent what most people feel, which is that we just really quite like to have the country being lovely again, so that people who want to come here legally can be part of something lovely, as opposed to something that's smelly and dirty, where people chuck shit down because where they come from outside your house is actually just a bin. It's just a different way of thinking. And here's the other thing I think, and I make no apology for this, and I'm not asking you to agree with me, I'm not asking you to support what I say, I'm not asking you to think what I think, this is what I think. I think we spend too much time trying to tiptoe around the wishes, beliefs and religions and other of people who choose to come to our lovely country, and not enough time looking after the culture that people obviously decided that would be nice to join. I've said it for 20 years, so it's not new. I will always maintain that. And it was actually one of my conversations with Andrew Tate. Why is it people always choose to come to countries and then try and change them? So those are all consistent things I've always said, I've always felt, but what's not being voiced at all by anyone in the media is that actually there is kindness at the heart of what people, I believe, want to stand up for. I think just like you. Oh, well, thank you. Please, you know that I never asked for that. And I didn't intend for this to be quite the rant that it just turned into, but actually, I'm not going to not say stuff. And the example I was just listening to, and I've heard it earlier in the day. So a gentleman obviously he was at home in his, well, they've put armchair rioter. I mean, please God. He was at home, you can imagine it. He's online, he's on Facebook or whatever, and he posted something to the effect of people should go and burn down hotels. Now, clearly, that's not ideal. You shouldn't be writing that on Facebook. And in this atmosphere that we've got in the UK right now, where things have ended up, he's now been made the example of. So because he wrote down, go and burn hotels, which obviously is not ideal to be typing that, but still, he's got like 1,500 maybe followers. Most of them are probably just like, barely look at what he writes. He got 6 likes on whatever it was he specifically said. I can't even... 6 likes on what was posted on Facebook. He's kind of, I guess, caught up. And they just gave him 20 months in jail. A sentence they said, we've reduced the sentence by 1/3 because you pled guilty. Well, yeah, the poor lad pled guilty because he's shit scared, because he's going to jail for something he was just typing on Facebook. And my point is, he had no idea that just typing something on Facebook in the heat of the moment would result in this bizarre situation where Keir Starmer thinks he's Billy Big Bollocks because he's hauling people out who posted something to about 2 people. And most people never saw. It is. And if you try to, and some of my American friends will be here with us, if you even try to say to an American, in the UK today, yesterday, whatever, someone was sent to jail for 20 months for I don't know how long the post was, I don't have the specifics, I don't care that I don't have the specifics, for saying something like burn it down or whatever he said, and got 6 likes, 20 months. And that's why when I go on about how, I'm going to move on right now, the law is not the law. How can the law possibly be the law when a sentence like that is handed out to a guy who just wrote something on Facebook not thinking, when we see the other sentences that are handed down? Shall I stop now? Yeah, it is scary. It's scary because I know most people are terrific. And it's scary because I know most people just they don't hate things. They don't hate other people. It's not hating this particular group or this particular religion. It's wanting to keep the thing that other people wanted to come join. That's what I know. I know that this country is lovely. Okay, shall I move on? But if you are out there and you are struggling with all of this, don't worry, because good wins in the end. And what is going on right now in the UK is not good. And I have explained it on YouTube, what's actually going on and where the money comes from and the reasons for all of this stuff. But don't fear, because we win in the end. Should we talk about Katie Price and lighten the mood? I'm just looking at some of your comments. We're under communist dictatorship. Yes. Do I think in my lifetime, do I get to live to the point where we win in the end? No, 100% not. But I'm not concerned about that at all. At least I've been consistent for 20 years. I've been. Can I tell you who that phone call was from? Maybe best that I don't. The phone may ring again, which interrupts the pub. I won't answer it, but anyway. So Katie Price, God love her. So she's turned up. Have you seen? So Katie Price has turned up. She's got this bloody thing wrapped around her face. What is she doing? I keep freezing. Yeah, it was a phone call from a prison. So sorry about that. Katie Price, her boobs now they are absolutely huge. That face, it looks so painful. And then to be going into court to be told about your bankruptcy and use the sun to try not to have to face up to things. I don't think she needs to be arrested. I don't join people in saying sling her in jail. What the hell? I just think it's sort of sad, because I remember Katie in the Big Brother house and she just wanted to be wife and to be loved and someone to take care of her. And that's honestly what she wanted. And she wanted to have lots of kids, probably with the same dad, and have this big family and be sort of proper old school looked after. And that's what I always remember her saying. And I feel like that's what Peter Andre went on and did and is continuing to do. And she's not got any of it. And the only way she knows to try and get through is to do more of this butchery. And it was bad before, in the Celebrity Big Brother house, Big Brother house, whatever, doesn't matter what it was called. She just had a boob job. This was way back when, I don't know when I was there even in Big Brother, and she had the open hole under one boob that wouldn't heal. And she'd come into the Big Brother house with that hole under here, so you could see the filler thing. And then I was tasked, mostly because I guess I was one of the most normal, I was given a tape measure and I had to measure the hole because they kept a chart of how big the hole was. And that was all weepy. So it isn't ideal really. And I just feel like she could just do with a bit of a hand. And maybe there's someone giving her a hand, I don't know. But I can't imagine that she's got people around her. I don't think she's got a lovely mark, has she? Googled Katie Price, still don't know who she is. What I quite like is that time to time people mistake me. So on Instagram, they'll be like, oh, this is all very well, but what's going to happen when you come back to the UK? You're going to be arrested. Or they're like, how can you be over there ignoring your bankruptcy? And why are you doing that to your face? And I'm like, wait a minute, you think I'm Katie Price? Really? You're mistaking me for Katie Price? So, what should we talk about next? Hugh Edwards. Is that a vibrator or a pen? Well, A, it's a pen, and B, I mean, I'm trying to give you a sense of perspective. Not being funny, but it'd be like a drumstick in a warehouse, love. I mean, I could lose that. I could put it. I mean, there'd be a whole pencil case. I'm surprised I've never been approached by. I think, have I mentioned this before? I'm surprised I've never been approached by some drug gangsters in Mexico, quite honestly, because the amount of contraband I could conceal at this stage in my adult life, after 3 kids, one of whom was £12. Seriously, I could keep half of Mexico in heroin for a very long time. I would be concerned about being locked up for that comment, but given that the entire police force are busy policing Facebook for an armchair rioter who got 2 likes, I mean, I'm probably fine with my 800,000 whatever followers, aren't I? Hugh Edwards. I just wanted to say something very clearly. Jon Sopel, Emily Maitlis, and all those BBC blowers who were blowing Hugh Edwards way past the point where it was obvious Hugh had done something dastardly. We had the pictures of Hugh Edwards like showing his ringer. Basically, those pictures ended up at the picture desk of Mail Online. And they were still, Jon Sopel, oh, he's a good guy, is our Hugh. How dare the Sun slag him off. Emily Maitlis, do you think Hugh can come back to the BBC? Oh, lovely Hughie Wooey, his wife. Oh, Hughie's got mental health issues. You bunch of massive perverts. You self-centred, obnoxious, London-centric, egotistical, cock-wombling, twat-spangle perverts. You should be made to sit and watch yourselves gob off about how marvellous Hugh Edwards is, and oh, can we bring back Hughie, and oh, we wish him so the best, and oh, lovely Hughie. And you, Jon Sopel, and you, Emily Maitlis, slagging off Vic Derbyshire, because Victoria Derbyshire was the only one who was truthful because she knew some additional stuff, because sources had gone to her because she can be trusted. And they all made a big slag off of Vic Derbyshire, and she was right all along. I just think when people like Hugh Edwards are pervy pedos using sweets that were on like people's funerals or state occasions, and he was trying to get young boys to come and sleep with him in those suites that the taxpayer paid for on state occasions, Jon Sopel, Emily Maitlis and all the rest of it should have some sort of thing done to them. They're just, because they don't have shame, because their egos are so friggin' big. Anyway. He thought he was untouchable. Yes, he did. Do you think he's going to, the 200,000, you think that's a real threat? You think Hugh Edwards is really going to pay back 200,000? Oh, please. All of that was done. That is basically, oh, look at me. What's a good PR stunt as head of the BBC? I do a big email. I slag off Hugh, even though we've been standing by him all of this time and offering him counselling and offering him psychotherapists and offering him his wage and his salary and his benefit package and his retirement. Why don't we find out if he's getting his pension? And this whole, oh, slagging off Hugh, and we're going to ask him for 200,000 back. Are you F? No, they're not. That's a story to try and placate people. He's not giving anything back. He'll have all of his benefits still. He'll still be getting his pension, and that is all a load of old spin and absolute bollocks, which is fine. But I tell you, it is we are entering a new phase of madness, and I do think we are now going to see an acceleration of all of the things that we would not want to happen. So an acceleration of our cars being taken. I believe, as you know, we won't have the right to drive within the next 3-4 years. An acceleration of removing of cash, digital ID, all the stuff we know about, but an acceleration of other very painful removal of earned possessions or savings. So the unburdening, some people would call it, but the taking from people who earned and saved and tried to build something. I think there's going to be a real speeding up of that. And that sounds dark, but you know what? We're in this together. And if you're like me, you're not scared. And stuff doesn't matter anyway, really. And it's certainly going to be a wild ride. So my suggestion is that we strap in, darlings, that we have the odd drink to numb the pain, and that we keep the pub going. And what we might need to do at some point, I would suggest, is the pub may not be able to be hosted on these platforms if everything is going to shut down. So on that point, I don't push my stuff, as you know, but I'm just thinking what might be helpful. If you're not already signed up on katiesarms.com, yes, Katie, K-A-T-I-E-S, katiesarms.com, maybe just go and put your email on there. We will never try and sell you anything. We will never bother you. We will never give your emails to anyone. I don't know if we'd know how to if we wanted to, but I just feel a sense that making sure we have ways of staying in touch will become increasingly important as somebody like me and my ability to speak will clearly become under pressure. But I'm not frightened and I'm not scared. And in fact, the opposite is true. If you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it more. Good. Yes, everyone that's asking about certain individuals, they are safe and they are well. And I'm trying to help the best I can, as you imagine, in any number of ways. So don't worry. Code speak. It's all fine, don't worry. Okay, off you go, everybody. Try and do something for yourself tomorrow. Try and just forget stuff for a bit tomorrow. Everything man-made is just noise. Real stuff is just as it was 1,000, 2,000 years ago. So try and find something real and be next to it. And always remember that whatever happens, you've got me and I'm not going anywhere. So I'll see you next week for the Katie's Arms. I'll see you online where I'll either be taking the piss or doing batshit bonkers Britain. And until then, everybody here, look after each other, look out for each other and try to find the fun. Okay.